Hello and welcome to the Papyrus Global Africa News Update. I am Christiana Babayo and here are today's headlines. Ramaphosa says he will not resign as South Africa moves toward impeachment inquiry. France and Kenya enter new partnerships in arts, sports and technology. M23 pulls back from eastern DRC towns as ceasefire pressure mounts. Surge in gang violence in Haiti's capital leaves hundreds displaced. Kemi Seba tells South African court he fears for his life if returned to Benin. Uganda and DR Congo signed 6 new bilateral agreements. Sierra Leone opposition leader raises alarm over alleged drug trafficking. South Africa's winegrowers working to stay one step ahead of warming planet. Military strikes, gang massacres in Nigeria kill around 100 civilians. Congo-Brazzaville asks for open talks with IMF for new economic program. And now the news in details. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says he will not resign despite moves by Parliament to begin impeachment proceedings over the controversial Phala Phala cash scandal. In a televised address, Ramaphosa defended himself and vowed to challenge the process in court after South Africa's Constitutional Court ordered lawmakers to reopen investigations into allegations of misconduct. The scandal involves more than $580,000 reportedly stolen from a sofa at Ramaphosa's private game ranch. The president insists the money came from a legitimate buffalo sale. Opposition parties are demanding his resignation while Parliament prepares a multi-party committee to investigate the allegations further. French President Emmanuel Macron and Kenyan President William Ruto have announced new partnerships in technology, sports and the arts during the Africa Forward Summit in Nairobi. The two leaders met with students, athletes and artists at the University of Nairobi, where they emphasized stronger cooperation between Africa and Europe. President Macron said Africa and Europe should work together to develop independent technological solutions instead of relying heavily on the United States and China. President Ruto highlighted Africa's youthful population, strong internet connectivity and growing entrepreneurial spirit, saying technology partnerships are key to the continent's economic future. Fighters from the M23 have withdrawn from several towns in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo as international pressure mounts to uphold a fragile ceasefire agreement. Local officials and the military confirmed the rebels pulled out of strategic areas near the city of Uvira, including the town of Sange. Residents reportedly celebrated as pro-government militia fighters moved into the area. Their withdrawal follows renewed pressure from the United States to revive peace efforts between Congo and Rwanda. However, M23 fighters will still control parts of eastern Congo, where conflict over mineral-rich territories has fueled violence for decades. Hundreds of residents have fled their homes in Port-au-Prince as renewed gang violence grieves Haiti's capitals. Families were seen escaping northern neighborhoods, carrying belongings and seeking safety near the city's main airport. Aid group Doctors Without Borders say more than 40 gunshot victims were treated in just hours as clashes intensified. Gangs are now believed to control over 90% of the capital, worsening Haiti's security and humanitarian crisis. The International Organization for Migration says more than 1.4 million people have been displaced, while international efforts to restore order remain slow. Controversial activist Kemi Seba has told a Pretoria court that he fears for his life if deported to Benin, where he is wanted over alleged links to a failed coup plot. Seba, who was arrested in South Africa for overstaying his visa, appeared in court alongside his teenage son and co-accused. His lawyer says he has applied for asylum, arguing deportation would expose him to persecution under President Patrice Talon. Benin has issued an international arrest warrant accusing him of supporting mutinous soldiers. Seba denies the allegation, calling them politically motivated. The court postponed the bail hearing to May 19th, with the trio remaining in custody. Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo have signed 6 new bilateral agreements aimed at strengthening cooperation in trade, security, tourism, and diplomacy. The deals were concluded during the 9th session of the Joint Standing Committee in Kampala, attended by Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi ahead of Uganda's presidential swearing-in activities involving Yoweri Museveni. Officials say the agreements will boost cross-border trade, improve connectivity, and enhance regional stability. Uganda's exports to the DRC are valued at over $800 million annually, making it its largest trading partner. Both countries also reaffirmed military cooperation under Operation Soja against the ADF rebels in eastern Congo. Opposition leaders in Sierra Leone are raising concerns over alleged links between the country and international drug trafficking networks following a major cocaine seizure linked to a vessel that departed from Freetown. In an open letter to President Julius Maada Bio, opposition leader Abdoulaye Karbo warned that recent incidents suggest possible organized crime activity involving the country's ports and territorial waters. Spanish authorities recently intercepted a ship carrying about 30 tons of cocaine, worth around $700 million, arresting several foreign nationals. Sierra Leonean authorities say investigations are ongoing as calls grow for tighter maritime security and stronger action against drug trafficking networks. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. Winemakers in South Africa's Western Cape are warning that climate change is reshaping the country's wine industry as rising temperatures force major adjustments in production. In the Hemel Ard Valley near Hermanus, vineyards such as Creation Wines are known for cool climate wines like Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, but producers say conditions are gradually becoming warmer. Researchers at Stellenbosch University report that grape harvests are now occurring earlier than usual, with projections suggesting harvesting could begin as early as November 2035. To adapt, wineries are using new farming techniques, including precision monitoring, cover crops, and adjusted pruning systems to protect quality and ensure long-term sustainability. Around 100 civilians have been killed in Nigeria following a series of military airstrikes and attacks by armed bandits, marking one of the deadliest days in the country's ongoing conflict. In Zamfara State, a military airstrike on a crowded market reportedly killed at least 72 people, with witnesses saying many victims were civilians. Human rights groups Amnesty International put the death toll at over 100. A separate air operation in nearby Niger State also killed at least 13 civilians, according to residents. The military denies civilian casualties, saying investigations are ongoing, while insecurity continues across northern Nigeria, involving both bandit groups and militant attacks. And that brings us to the end of today's African News Update. But before we go, a recap of our main headlines. Ramaphosa says he will not resign as South Africa moves towards impeachment inquiry. Kenya and France enter new partnerships in arts, sports, and technology. M23 pulls back from eastern DRC towns as ceasefire pressure mounts. Surge in gang violence in Haiti's capital leaves hundreds displaced. For continuous coverage and breaking developments, stay connected with the Papyrus Global Television at papyrusdaily.com. I am Christiana Babayo. Thank you for watching.